Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Merit here again from MB Rugby as usual. And the autumn series is in full swing. The outgoing for the series for the year, we're North versus South. Um, and it's been quite exciting and nail-biting show between New Zealand and England last weekend, as well as Scotland versus Fiji. Um, but yeah, that might give us a bit of a precursor to what we can expect between South Africa and Scotland coming this weekend on the 10th of November, and what will probably happen between South Africa and England a bit later, I think on the 17th of November. But without further ado, let's get into it. Right, so England versus New Zealand, quite a build-up to that match it was, and 24 versus 24-22 victory to the All Blacks. Hard fought. I think that's probably a huge understatement. As much as you can get. England really did well, fighting to the last second of the game. The discipline on the All Black side was a bit lacking, I have to admit. Um, Committing penalty after penalty after penalty. Sam Kane, I think about up to two times tackling a player off the ball, along with some, I think it was, I'm not too sure it was Topo Vai that also tackled a player off the ball. But yeah, it was a bit of, trying to interpret a tackle is not as easy as it looks. I mean, you have three guys basically making an attack move next to each other. That pass can go to any side. Offload, chicken wing, or over the top offload can literally go to any side. And you, as a defender, have to try and, kind of telegraph to which side the pass is going to go before you try to commit into a tackle. And sometimes you commit into that tackle quite prematurely. That's kind of bite you in the ass afterwards. But yeah, unfortunately, All Blacks didn't quite get it down very well most of the game, which translated into several penalties against them. Yeah, and unfortunately, that kind of did cost them a bit. Yeah, quite a bit. It translated into a yellow card eventually. Okay, who was it? Yeah, Andrew Leonard Brown, I think it was. Again, it wasn't for tackling the player off the ball, but since so many penalties has already been committed by the All Blacks at that time due to lack of a bit of discipline there. Andrew Leonard Brown basically committed the next penalty, and unfortunately, he's the one that now has to go off into the sin bin for 10 minutes. But the rest of them played a smashing game. Overall, it's just an absolute brilliant all-round game. England, Marcus Smith was on form with his kicks, except for the last conversion that really didn't go as planned. So hitting the ball against the post, really rotten luck, and then with an attempted drop goal after that also didn't hit the mark. Just couldn't traverse that last 2 points into the victory for England. But much to the happiness and absolute excitement of the All Blacks, they walked away with a victory on that one. Wallace Atiti, smashing game, absolutely smashing game. So many tries had his hand on in that game. It was absolutely fantastic. Down to Mark Talea, hitting it in the corner off a overhead offload from Wallace and Titi. Absolutely fantastic games. Damien McKenzie playing a brilliant, fantastic game, hitting every single kicking attempt by him. Although it was just sort of in the last couple of minutes of the game, he only came in sort of on the 66th minute. Um, around about the 60th minute, round about there, hit the penalty conversion for the All Blacks on around about the 66th minute. And yeah, all around fantastic game. Will Jordan on form, Bowden Barrett. Except for the little mishap again with Sam Kane tackling a player off the ball that gets the Bowden Barrett try disallowed. But it was fantastic play. I mean, kicking the ball downfield, giving chase, hard chase there by, I think it was Waboto. Waboso that gave chase, but just couldn't nail Bowden Barrett before they hit the try. Fortunately for him, it was disallowed due to the foul. But all round smashing game, made for absolute nail biting excitement and entertainment there. Um, yeah, the Scotland versus Fiji game. Now we have to remember one thing. Yes, this was a 57-17 loss to Fiji. Congratulations to the Scots. Played a hard game. But we have to remember that Fiji has only been going in 15-man rugby for a couple of years. I think they made the last two World Cups. I think the last World Cup they actually hit up to the quarterfinals, where they eventually got disqualified, or not disqualified but eliminated. Which is an absolute smashing achievement for these guys. They've only been going for about a decade or so, a little bit more than a decade in 15-man rugby. They are an absolutely dominant force in the sevens, but yeah, still pretty young in this regard. But they have made a lot of progress in their short time of playing 15-man rugby, especially against teams that have been going for years. I mean, literally decades. I remember that I think the first All Black versus South Africa game was around 1924. So yeah, quite a rich history there, a deep history, which unfortunately the Fijians hasn't shared in quite yet. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna, open up quite a few tracks for them and roads into 15-man rugby quite hard. They've been doing very well. Attacks were strong by both sides. Unfortunately, the defense on Fiji's side was quite a bit lacking, which I think is evident by, I think, about the 5 tries that were scored by Scotland before halftime. Fiji did end it off with a try before halftime there, though. They scored 3 times for their tries for the entire game. I think one try in the first half, with then 2 tries in the second half. Scotland did fall back a bit in the second half, not scoring as much points as they did within the first half and everything. But the 2 yellow cards, suffered by Fiji, I think, had something to do with it. And I think the first yellow card was quite a bit not exactly justified, in my opinion. And Lomani basically going for an interception, the ball kind of bouncing off his chest, off his arm, and then going forward. Totally, he tried to kind of control the ball with one hand, which I think was totally realistic in expecting him to actually grab the ball going through for the try, for the interception try. He had quite a realistic expectation on there. For him to then get a yellow card for deliberate knockdown, I don't feel was quite justified. It was within the realms of reality for him to actually grab the ball, get control of it, and actually run downfield, which would have seen Fiji scoring the first drive quite early in the first half. Um, but for him to then get a yellow card from there, I don't think it was justified. Um, there was no reaching really for the ball. Only after the ball kind of bounced off his chest, he tried to grab it with the one hand. So there was a bit of a reach there. Um, but I mean, the initial knock, um, there was realistic chance for him to gain control over that ball. Unfortunately, he couldn't. Um, Deliberate knockdown, in my opinion, no. Bring him back for the scrum there for a knock on. I think that would have been pretty much justified. The second yellow card by Vota, yeah, unfortunately, um, there's nothing. It's just ill discipline. Unfortunately, there was another yellow card by Ashman for Scotland Bay just before half time, for another 32nd minute, and yeah. So I mean, the ref was pretty pretty busy in that one. Um, but yeah, Stacks was very strong by Fiji. The defense, however, was sorely lacking, and they could have really worked do a bit better with their discipline. Scotland, a lot better performance, strong attacks, strong defense. Was really tough for Fiji to kind of break through, but Fiji's ball handling in quite a few attack moves was spot on, and they did reap the fruits from that. Two tries in the first half before half time, scoring the one on the 44th minute, just sort of in overtime after before they went off for half time, and then directly, I think it was the 48th minute, they come in, they scored another try there, and pretty hard fought. Pretty hard fought by the Fijians. I really take my hat off to these guys. They're not a strong team, so I didn't expect them to win. Yeah, but such is life. Unfortunately, they will get there. Like we've seen, Argentina has been doing extremely well these last couple of years. And just like Fiji, Argentina started at the bottom, wasn't really a strong team, suffered loss after loss after loss. Um, and they have been making a lot of improvements to themselves. And Fiji will get there, just like pretty much any other team. They just need time. So yeah, this coming weekend, the 10th of November, we're facing Scotland. Springboks versus Scotland. The teams aren't quite decided upon yet. So as soon as that is released, I will have another video hopefully for you guys. With time as it is during the week, it is sometimes a bit difficult for me to just pop out a video at the drop of a hat. Wales versus Fiji. It's also on the 10th of November. Then Ireland versus Argentina, and then of course New Zealand versus Georgia, and I'm really feeling sorry for those guys. Georgia also being a very fledgling team, but I think it's sometimes good that they get chances to test their mettle against the stronger teams, especially world-class teams like New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, England, Scotland, Ireland. And then of course, talking about Ireland, they're facing off against Argentina this coming weekend. So good luck to the Argentinians. Ireland, the number one team in the world, South Africa number two. We hopefully will be, giving our best to Scotland. Scotland had a very strong performance this weekend. So it's not going to be a walkover, not a walk in the park for the Springboks. Although we do know the Springboks are going to bring their A game. They have pretty much said that every game they run onto the field, they are pretty much giving it their all. So we're looking forward to an extremely strong match this coming weekend. Some exciting entertainment for rugby there. So yeah, that's it for me for this week. Give me your views, your comments in the comments field. What you thought about the England versus New Zealand game, also Scotland versus Fiji. What do you think of Fiji's progress over the years? And also, please, any predictions that you guys think? What will be Scotland versus South Africa? Um, well, let me know. What you guys think of that. Also, Wales versus Fiji. Do you think Fiji have got more of a chance against Wales? Rather, from after the aftermath of Scotland. Wales hasn't been doing as well as previous couple of years. But I'm pretty sure, like any team going into a bit of a slump, they also, this is their kind of slump season. Australia has also been, experiencing a terrible season for them their time around. I don't know if they're going to be switching coaches soon, but things aren't looking good for them. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments field, and then I'll be seeing you hopefully just before this weekend when the Springbok and Scotland teams are announced. I'll be bringing you the lineups for that as well. But please, guys, keep well, keep safe this week, and I'll be seeing you on the field this coming weekend. Peace.